Hi everyone. You either have just finished spring break or maybe you're in the middle of your spring break, but I'm glad that you decided to listen to the introduction. I have a little bit different introduction for you this week. I'm going to start with a riddle. So the riddle is that there's a man and he's out driving with his son and they're in a terrible accident. So the husband, the dad, is killed in the accident, and the son gets rushed to the emergency room. And the surgeon comes into the room and says, "I can't operate on him. He's my son." So a lot of people would be stumped by this riddle because their schema for surgeons is that the surgeon would then be a man. And, if you already know that the father has died, so, who is this man who's coming in and saying that he's his son? So, just thinking about this really quickly, the idea is built on the premise, or the riddle is built on the premise that we have these schemas and we think of surgeons as men, and what that is then is a formation of a stereotype. So if a person has a stereotype, it's a belief. It's and in this case it's a gender stereotype, so it's a belief. Stereotypes are the cognitive component. And so stereotypes are what's going on in the brain. It's how the brain is working. Social psychologists use the words stereotype, prejudice, and discrimination in very particular ways. So you need to memorize and know the differences between. So I just said stereotypes have to do with beliefs or how we think about other groups of people, other individuals. It's cognitive. Prejudice is affective. So affective means that it's A-F-F-E-C-T, it's affect, and that is having to do with feelings. So that is the feelings of an individual has towards a particular group of people. So if I have prejudice, it's usually not seen in a very positive light. Most people don't want to think that they have prejudice. And you'll read a little bit more about that as far as overt and then more subtle types of prejudice. But we want to think that we're able to form opinions and our feelings are independent, but you'll read that that's very complex. And then the third term is discrimination, and discrimination is the actual behaviors. And if I treat people differently because they're in a group, then it is seen as being discriminatory. So discrimination is the behavior that results from my prejudices, and my prejudices may lead and stem from stereotypes that I hold. All right, so for this week you are looking at how do members of different groups perceive inequality. Your chapter begins with that, and then moves into what is the nature and origin of stereotyping, what is prejudice, and how can prejudice be reduced. And this chapter is going to be a really significant part of your presentation. There's a lot of information in here that you're going to be able to use. So on the test that's on this material, it is on Chapter 6. It's also on the information that's in the video that I posted for Denmark, what they're trying to do to help reduce discrimination and prejudice in their country. And I'd like for you to look at that and then think about what their methods are, what are they doing about trying to reduce stereotypes and therefore prejudice. So enjoy the materials I posted, and the Pew research that's there is going to help you with your final presentation. And in other classes, it's a great place for you to go and get contemporary research done in a way that is not going to be tainted or affected by who's paying for the research. It's non-partisan, and it's very highly regarded, and it's used in scholarly citations. So you can use the Pew Research Center for doing research for your presentation if you'd like.